Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome, my dear students of Senior 1 in another biology session. Today, inshallah, we'll continue talking about kingdom Animalia. We come to phylum number 7, phylum Mollusca. After we have studied 6 phyla before, we have studied phylum 6 phyla in kingdom Animalia. Which of them? First one of them is called phylum Porifera, including sponge, and second phylum, which is called phylum Cnidaria, which including jellyfish and hydra. Welcome, Ruqayya. How are you? Fine?
Yes.
We continue our discussion in kingdom Animalia. We start with phylum Porifera, including sponge. Then we studied phylum Cnidaria, including jellyfish and hydra and aurelia. And after that, phylum Platyhelminthes, which are the flatworms like tapeworm, bilharzia and planaria worm. Phylum number 4, phylum Nematoda, including the cylindrical worms like Ascaris worm. And phylum number 5, phylum Annelida, which includes the divided or the segmented worms like the earthworm and the leech. After that, phylum number 6, phylum Arthropoda, which is a big phylum, which contain many classes, but they mainly characterized by having segmented joints, a number of segmented pairs of legs. Class Crustacea, including the crab and the brown. Class Arachnida, including spider and scorpion. Class Insecta, including insects like locusts, like butterfly, like bees and honeybee. Class Myriapoda, which including Scolopendra and Gilius, which have big number of legs. Now we are talking about phylum number 7, Mollusca. Phylum Mollusca. In this phylum, majority of this phylum live in salt water, in seas and oceans, and some of them in fresh water. And a little number of them live on the land, and they have a soft body, and they have maybe a shell, a calcareous shell, made of calcium, which may be external or internal, or may be absent or reduced. Mollusca are unsegmented and have muscles part or muscular parts for motion or locomotion, like foots. The head carries sense organs, and they have organs such as a tongue, which is called radula, used in feeling. Sex may be unisexual or maybe from hermaphrodite, yani bisexual. The sexes may be separated or unisexual, the male separated from the female, or maybe one organism have a female and the male organs, it is hermaphrodite. Examples of mollusca: octopus, oyster, and desert snail. Snails and octopus from mollusca. As you see here in the school book, we have here snail, oyster, and octopus. They are from mollusca. They characterized by having soft body, where some of them have a shell, external shell, like oyster and the snail, and they have something for movement, like foots for octopus, and also snail have something for movement. Let's go to phylum number 8, phylum Echinodermata. phylum Echinodermata. The last phylum in the invertebrates. The last phylum in the invertebrates. And they are the more developed invertebrates at all. Echinodermata أو الجلد شوكيات. The most developed invertebrates at all. We have example here. The starfish and the cucumber, the sea cucumber, the sea urchin, the starfish, and the sea cucumber. Echinodermata characterized by the body may be rounded or cylindrical or star-shaped, have arms, and may have moved by tube. They have something for movement. Tube feet-like structure called tube feet, like here the starfish. Its wall has spines. There is many spines made of calcareous plates. It has a hard skeleton, endoskeleton. These spines make a skeleton for supporting the body. So their body is more stronger than the body of mollusca. The body has two surfaces, anterior and posterior surface. The upper surface and the lower surface. Anterior surface and posterior surface. الجسم له سطحين، سطح أمامي وسطح خلفي أو علوي وسفلي. Like the starfish, it has two sides, upper side and lower side, anterior and posterior. And there is a mouth in one of these sides. The side surface which have the mouth is called oral, opposite to the surface which is called aboral. يعني we have oral surface السطح الفموي and aboral surface السطح الغير فموي. The mouth is found in one side. It is called oral surface, and there is a non-oral surface which is called aboral. There is no mouth in it. They reproduce by regeneration. We have studied in grade 9. They reproduce by regeneration, and they can reproduce sexually by gametes. Examples: the sea star or the starfish, the sea urchin, and the sea cucumber. The sea cucumber, like this, as you see here, the sea cucumber. They are from Echinodermata. The main characteristic, they have calcareous shells under the skin. Calcareous shells under the skin make endoskeleton, a hard skeleton, and help them for movement and supporting the body. There is an endoskeleton, spines under the skin, so they are called Echinodermata. Now we can move to the last phylum of kingdom Animalia, which is phylum Chordata, the biggest phylum and the more developed living organisms. Generally, Chordata means they have a backbone, they have vertebral column, so they are vertebrates, subphylum vertebrates. They characterized by the presence of skeletal structure called notochord, which change into backbone. Okay, and it includes the most higher animals in the kingdom Animalia, the higher and the more developed animals in kingdom Animalia. They have an endoskeleton, consists of vertebral column, skull, and limbs. Like us, we have endoskeleton. Our skeleton is internal skeleton inside our body. It is endoskeleton, so they are vertebrates. They have hearts, consist of several chambers. The heart has many chambers, and there is a blood flowing inside the heart. And the blood vessels also in a closed circulation. The blood circulation is a closed circulation. The blood circulation go to the body parts and return back to the heart. So we called it a closed blood circulation. because it starts from the heart and the end at the heart. We will study many classes in phylum Chordata. Class number one, class Agnathia, or the animals without a jointed mouth. Animals without a jointed mouth. اللافكيات. Agnathia, اللافكيات. The body is long and thin, like this, as you see here, the lamprey. The lamprey has a long body and thin, end with a mouth like this. This mouth is round, no jaw, no jaws. There is no jaws. Only a round mouth with some spines in it, like, and the tongue, a very hard tongue, which can help it in fixing itself in the fish and eating the flesh of the fish. They are parasites. The lamprey is a parasite animal, live in the water. The body is long, thin, with no paired fins. There is no fins. The mouth is circular mouth. Circular mouth. The mouth is round mouth. Funnel shape, قمع الشكل, contain rough tongue, provided with many horny teeth, and it is jawless. It has no jaws, no upper jaw and no lower jaw, but there is many spikes, or a very hard tongue with spikes. Feeding, they are parasites, where they stick by the body of the fish and attach themselves by the teeth, then snap the flesh of the fish. They eat the meat of the fish. They are parasites, like the lamprey. The lamprey is a parasitic animal, vertebrate animal. Second class, we have class Chondrexes, class Chondrexes and the class Ostrexes. The two classes of the fish, Chondrexes, the cartilage fish, and Ostrexes, the bony fish. Chondrexes الأسماك الغضروفية, Ostrexes الأسماك العظمية. The skeleton of Chondrexes made of cartilage. Made of cartilage. Example, shark, fish, and ray fish. The body of the shark is made of cartilage, not bones. It is more soft than bones. It's not hard like bones, but it is a little elastic body, elastic skeleton, made of cartilaginous skeleton. But the bony fish, or Ostrexes have a skeleton made of bones. It is a bony skeleton. The mouth is ventral in the Chondrexes. The mouth in the body, in the lower part of the body. If you draw here, if you want to draw a shark, you can draw it like this. Where is the mouth? Not in front of the body, but the mouth is here. The mouth in abdomen, in the part of the body, in the ventral mouth. Here, the mouth of the shark, not in front of the body like the fish, but it is a ventral in position of the mouth. But the other fish, like bolty fish and buri fish, the mouth in the front of the body. The mouth is opening in front of the body like this. The mouth opening in front of the body like bolty and buri and so on. The mouth is in the front of the body, not in abdominal position. Okay, the mouth in front of the body. So the mouth is terminal. The mouth is terminal mouth. The mouth is terminal. This is the buri fish or the bolty fish or something. The fish, the Ostrexes, the bony fish. The mouth in front of the body, but the mouth in the case of Chondrexes, ventral position in the bottom of the body, not in front of the body. And after that, the gill side. The gill side here and has no cover. The gills are here without a cover, or operculum. There is no cover for the gills, without any operculum. But the gills here have a cover. In the bony fish, the gills have a cover of the gills. The fish has a gill cover here, which cover the gills, which is called operculum. Operculum, the cover of the gills. They have a gill cover, but Chondrixis has no gill cover, uncovered operculum. The air bladder, there is no air bladder here in the body of the Chondrixis, like shark. But in this bony fish, we have an air bladder here. The air bladder helps the fish to move up and move down. By filling it with air, it can move up. By empty it from the air, it moves down. The air bladder helps the fish to move up and down, swimming and floating. The sex is unisexual here in Chondrixis and also unisexual in Ostrixis. You have here unisexual, yani the sexes are separated. The male separate from the female. But also Ostrixis, the sex are separated. Example of Chondrixis shark and ray fish. The ray fish سمك الشيطان أو سمك الراي. Example of Ostrixis, balti fish, buri fish, salmon, and so on. The Chondrixis fertilization is internal, but in Ostrixis the fertilization is external. Internal means there is a mating between male and female. During this mating, there is a fertilization. But external means there is no mating. The female lay eggs in the water and the male pour its sperms on the eggs in the water. This is the difference between class Chondrixis and Ostrixis, the cartilage fish and the bony fish. We go to other class, which is class Amphibia. Al-Barmaiyat, class Amphibia. Amphibia, they live part of their life in water and the other part in the land. The body covered with a smooth, slimy skin. And the skin is wet, always wet, which help also in respiration. They have 4 pendactile limbs. They have 4 pendactile limbs. The 4 limbs are pendactile. And they have 5 fingers. 4 fingers. They have 4 limbs, 4 أطراف, with 5 fingers. Pendactile means they have 5 fingers in each limb. Respiration takes place by several different ways according to the stage of its growth. This means that they respire by gills in the beginning of their life. In embryonic stages, they have gills. Like the frog, when the frog hatch from the water, the frog hatch into tadpole. The tadpole swim in the water. The tadpole swim in the water like a fish, exactly like a fish. The tadpole swim in the water like a fish and respire by gills. After that, it has a fin. It has a big fin. It will swim in water under the water surface. And after that, the tadpole, the fin disappear and the legs start to appear, and the fin becomes smaller and smaller until it becomes adult. The gills disappear and the lungs appear, and they can move outside into the ground. They can live in the ground when they become adults. But in the beginning of their life, they live in water and respire by gills. In the adult stage, they respire by lungs and skin. They have a wet skin, which help in respiration. The skin helps in respiration, especially during hibernation process. لما بيعملوا البيات الشتوي, they respire by the wet skin, by their skin. They are cold-blooded animals. The meaning of cold-blooded animals, this means that their body temperature is not constant. The body temperature is not constant. The body temperature changes according to the temperature of the environment. So the body temperature can change according to the environment. But the mammals, for example, the human, our body temperature is constant. Although in winter, in summer, in cold area, in warm area, our body temperature is constant. But the amphibians, their body temperature is not constant. The sexes are separated, so they are unisexual, and fertilization is external. This means the female lay eggs in the water, and the male pour his sperms on the eggs in the water without mating. Frog examples: frog and salamander. This is a frog, and this is the salamander. The salamander has a shape of lizard. The salamander has the same shape of lizard, but it is from amphibians. The next class, which is called Reptalia. Reptalia الزواحف. Reptalia their body consists of 4 regions: head, neck, trunk, and the tail. Head, neck, trunk, and the tail. 4 parts of the body. A body covered with dry skin, not wet skin like the amphibians, and horny scales. حراشيف قرنية, حراشيف خشنة. And they may be supported by horny plates. Maybe they have plates, حراشيف قوية, like the crocodile, for example. They have 4 weak pentadactyl limbs. Their limbs are weak, and they have 4 limbs, and each limb has 5 fingers, so they are pentadactyl. Each 2 end with a horny claw. They have claws. In the end of the finger, there is claws, مخالب. The limbs may be absent, like in the snake, and they move by creeping, like the snake. They move by creeping. بيتحرك بالزحف, and there is no limbs like the snake. Respiration takes place by lungs, and they are cold-blooded animals. Their body temperature is not constant. Sexes are separated, and fertilization is internal. Fertilization is internal, while in amphibians the fertilization was external. The female lay eggs with calcareous or skinny shell. Example: lizard, crocodile, and tortoise. And snake, also the snake from reptiles. Sometime in old ages, the reptiles will dominate the earth. From million years ago, reptiles was dominating the planet Earth. Million years ago, like dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are from reptiles. They were dominating the planet Earth. But after that, we go to class aves, الطيور. Class aves, الطيور. طائفة الطيور. The birds or aves, body covered with feather. Body covered with feather. Wings and feather. They have 4 limbs, and maybe the front limbs change into wings. The anterior ones modified into wings for flying. The posterior ones, each one end by 4 digits, provided with a horny claws, used for moving on the ground, such as ostrich. The legs used for moving or running, climbing, such as a sparrow, swimming, such as duck, predating, such as hawk. They use the fingers and the claws for walking, for climbing, for swimming, for predation. Respiration takes place through lungs, and their body contains air sacs, which store more amount of air used for flying. They are warm-blooded animals, but the reptiles and amphibians are cold-blooded animals. Here, aves are warm-blooded animals. The body temperature is constant. The sexes are separated and fertilization is internal. The female lay eggs and incubate them until hatching. The females incubate the eggs until hatching. بتركض على البيض حتى يفطس. Appropriateness of internal structure of the birds for flying. Not all birds can fly, but some birds can fly and others cannot fly. Like ostrich, the ostrich cannot fly, the penguin cannot fly. Because of their heavyweight body, they cannot fly. The sternum is broad. Here the sternum in the bird is broad. عظمة هنا اسمها sternum. القص عريضة. Attachment of strong thoracic muscles. متصلة بعضلات قوية في الصدر. Help in flying. Move wings during flying. They move the wings by these muscles. Sparrow, penguin, hawk, and the duck, all of these are examples of birds. But remember, not all birds can fly. Finally, we go to the last class, طائفة class mammalia. طائفة الثدييات, class mammalia. The body consists of 4 regions: head, neck, thorax, and the abdomen. Head, الرأس, neck, الرقبة, thorax, الصدر, abdomen, البطن. The skin is covered with hair. The skin is covered with hair, not feather like birds. Limbs are 4. They have 4 limbs. Pentadactyl limbs. Yeah, they have 5 fingers in each limb. Provided with claws in some animals, in mammals, and the nails in other animals, hoof in other animals, and bones in other animals. The bone like in the camel, the hoof like in the horse, and the donkey. The nails like the human, the claws like the bear, or like the tiger, like the lion. They have claws. Respiration takes place by 2 lungs. They are warm-blooded animals. The teeth are dissimilar, not similar. We have incisors, canyons, and molars, divided into different types. Incisors, القواطع, canyons, الأنياب, molars, الأضراس. These are not similar. Sexes are separated and fertilization is internal. The majority of the females are viviparous. Viviparous, they have mammary glands, secrete milk to suckle their youngs. So they can feed the youngs by breastfeeding, or the milk feed, the mother breastfeeding. Like here, we have some mammals like the monkey, the platypus, the kangaroo. We have here 3 subclasses of vertebrates, of mammalia. Class mammalia can be divided into 3 subclasses. 3 subclasses. Subclass number 1, Prototheria. Prototheria like the platypus. The platypus أو منقار البط. This is an amazing animal because it is a link between birds and mammals. It is a link between birds and mammals. Why? They lay eggs like birds, but their young can suck milk from the mother breasts like the mammals. So they have the beak like birds, but their body covered with hair like mammals. So they are a link between birds and mammals. Example here, Platypus. They don't give birth, but they lay eggs, and this is like birds. They lay eggs and incubate them like birds. But why they are in mammalia, not in birds, and not in aves? Because mother suckles the young with milk secreted from its mammary glands. So the mother has mammary glands on its abdomen, so it can suckle their young by milk. So we put them in mammalia, not in birds or aves. Example of Prototheria, the platypus, the dark-billed platypus, the dark-billed platypus. This one amazing animal, the dark-billed platypus, and they have local opening. Local opening means that urine, feces, and eggs emerge from this opening. One opening for both urine, feces, and eggs. All of the excretion come from one only opening. So it is called local opening. This is amazing, different from normal mammals. The example here only the platypus or the dark-billed platypus, منقار البطن. The second subclass here in class Mammalia, we have Metatheria. Metatheria, الثدييات الكيسية. Why we call them Metatheria أو الثدييات الكيسية? Because they lay eggs, they give birth, but the youngs are immature. The youngs need more care. They cannot live with themselves. The newborn babies need more feeding and more care from the mother. The mother suckles its youngs from a nipples found inside the special pouch at the bottom of its abdomen. عندها كيس بتخبي فيه الأطفال للإرضاع, where it keeps the youngs until they become fully grown. This pouch in the abdomen keep the young until they fully grown, like we have in kangaroo from Metatheria. Kangaroo is from the Metatheria because they have a pouch in the abdomen here for growing the kids, keeping the kids until they become full mature. Finally, we have subclass number 3, Euthyria, الثدييات الحقيقية. يبقى we have Prototheria, الثدييات الأولية, Metatheria, الثدييات الكيسية, Euthyria, الثدييات الحقيقية. Euthyria, they are placental mammals. They have placenta. Placenta means meshima. In the uterus, during pregnancy, there is a placenta. Help in feeding the embryo inside the uterus. They give birth a fully developed youngs. They give birth a fully developed youngs. The mother suckles its youngs. The milk secreted from mammary glands. Secreted from mammary glands. They are Euthyria, so they give birth into a complete grown babies. Example, the dog, the donkey, and the human from Euthyria. Let's go to the classes of Euthyria. Classes here, compare between classes Amphibia, Reptalia, Aves, and Mammalia. If we want to compare, the class Amphibia called the blooded, the class Reptilia also called the blooded, as you see here, but class Aves are warm-blooded, and the class Mammalia are warm-blooded. We have here in class Amphibia embryonic stages breathed by gills, but here all breathed by gills, all of them breathed by lungs, and the stages, the adult stages breathed by lungs and the skin. But here breathing by lungs, also here by lungs, and class Mammalia also by lungs. The differences between the four classes. The sexes are separated. The sexes are separated. The sexes are separated also. Fertilization is external. Only amphibia have external fertilization, but here in reptiles and aves and the mammalia, the fertilization is internal. Let's go to divide Euthyria. The class Euthyria, we can divide it into many orders. We can divide it into many orders. Orders of Euthyria. Order number 1, order Edentata. Edentata, or the animals without teeth. Teethless animals. Without teeth. While others have lost the front teeth only. They have strong curved claws. They have claws like the sloth and armadillo. They have no teeth and they have claws in their fingers. Example, armadillo, المدرع, and the sloth, حيوان الكسلان. Next order, the second order, order Insectivora, آكلات الحشرات. Insectivora, آكلات الحشرات. رتبة آكلات الحشرات. They feed on insects with their front teeth extended outwards like pincers for capturing their prey. They have a teeth here outside the mouth. They help them to capture the insects. Example here of Insectivora, hedgehog, القنفذ, hedgehog. Order number 3, order Carnivora أو اللاحمة, الحيوانات اللاحمة, Carnivora. They have large pointed canyons. Premolars are sharp, while the molars broad and grinding. They have strong, sharp, curved claws, like lion, tiger, and dog. They are carnivorous animals, carnivora, آكلات اللحوم, predators. Order Brachydactyla, Brachydactyla, order Brachydactyla, like donkey and zebra. They are herbivore animals. They eat grass. They are odd-toed. That means they have some end of the foot. H2 has a horny hoof, end with a horny hoof. Their teeth are big size and adapted to grain food. Example here, the horse, the donkey, and the zebra. They are Brachydactyla, Brachydactyla. أحادية الحافر, حيوانات أحادية الحافر. Artiodactyla, Artiodactyla, they are animals with which are herbivores, and they are even toes. The toes are pairs. Toes are pairs, not single number, but even number. H2 coated with horny hoof. The example here, sheep, goat, deer, and giraffe. They are Artiodactyla. زواجية الأصابع, مزدوجة الأصابع. Order Cetaceae, order Cetaceae, order number 6, order Cetaceae, أي الحيوانات الحوتية. Cetaceae like whale and dolphin, like whale and dolphin. They are from mammals, but they live in water. They are huge aquatic mammals, live in seas and oceans. They have forelimbs are modified into paddles. The forelimbs are modified into paddles, help them in swimming. And the hind limbs disappeared. There is no hind limbs. The back limbs not found. They are disappeared. They breathe atmospheric air by lungs. Although they live in water, but they breathe by lungs. The sexes are separated, and the female give birth and suckle their young in the water. The tail fin is horizontal. The tail fin is horizontal, different from the fish. This is order Cetaceae. Order Rodenta, القوارض، رتبة القوارض زي ايه؟ الماوس والسquirrel. They have a pair of incisors in both upper and lower jaws, one pair in the upper jaw and one pair in the lower jaw of incisors. Like this, the upper jaw, and like this, the lower jaw. There is here one pair of jaws, one pair only, and in the lower jaw also one pair. This is the rodents. One pair of incisors in the upper jaw and one pair in the lower jaw. The tail are very long, and they have large ear. The ears are small. Their ears are small, but the tail is long. Order number 8, order Lagomorpha, الحيوانات الأرنبية. Like the rabbit. They have two pairs of incisors in the upper jaw and one pair in the lower jaw. In the upper jaw and the lower jaw, we have here in the upper jaw two pairs of incisors. Two pairs. 4 incisors or 2 pairs. But in the lower jaw, we have one pair only. We have one pair of incisors in the lower jaw, but in the upper jaw, we have 2 pairs. The tail is short and the ears are long, like the rabbit, the Lagomorpha, الحيوانات الأرنبية. So we are different here in the number of teeth. Remember the difference in the upper jaw here, one pair only, but here we have 2 pairs in the upper jaw. But here we have one pair only of incisors in the rodents. Let's move to order Chiroptera, الخفاشية، الحيوانات الخفاشية. Their limbs are modified into wings. They can fly like the bat. The bat can fly. It is from Chiroptera. Where the fingers from a second to fifth are elongated and skin extended from the body to help in flying. Become active during night. They are night animals, nocturnal animals, like the bat. The bat is from Chiroptera, الحيوانات الخفاشية. Order number 10, Proboscida الحيوانات الفيلية أو الفيل. Example, the elephant. They have long muscular proboscis, like the hose, help in catching things and drinking and eating. The 2 upper incisors grow, forming big canyons, like the big canyons here in the elephant, the big canyons. Example of Proboscida, example here is elephant. Finally, we come to the last order primates, الحيوانات الرئيسية، رتبة الرئيسيات. The human is from primates. The human, the lemur, the gorilla, and the monkey from this order primates. They are the most developed living organisms on the planet Earth, the more smart and developed living organisms. The most higher mammals. We have 2 pairs of pentadactyl limbs. The limbs are 4 pairs, 2 pairs, يعني 4 limbs, and they are pentadactyl. They have 5 fingers, and the thumb finger lies away from the wrist fingers. The thumb finger, أصبع الإبهام في جهة أخرى of the other fingers. The brain is large size and nervous system is highly developed in the higher form. They are the most smart living organisms: monkey, gorilla, lemur, and the man. Here we come to the end of all orders of our class, or orders of our class A, mammalia. We come to the end of the classification, and in the next session, inshallah, we'll start solving exercise on classification. We need to revise all what we have studied in kingdom Animalia. We have to revise it because we have a lot of names, a lot of classes, a lot of phyla. We need to revise it very well. And in the next session, we start our revision. We'll start our exercise on classification, inshallah. I hope you study this lesson very well. The last lesson in our curriculum. After that, we'll revise this chapter and this lesson, and we will, after finishing revising this unit classification, we go to revising the first term units, inshallah, from the other sessions in the next time, inshallah. Until we meet again, thank you and goodbye. Assalamu alaikum.